make the argument that the game is tied.
Or that the Lakers were up big.
Yeah, 85-50. You just, flip them around.
Well, it's just clear that with all of the injuries that the Lakers are suffering through, we saw Lamar Odom as Dirk Nowitzki goes to the bench. Of course, Luke Walton has had an ankle problem. Radmanovich, we know about his snowboarding incident during the All-Star break.
I got one for you guys. Let me ask you a question. Would Amari Stoudemire be an All-Star without Steve Nash?
Yes.
And would Sean Marion be an All-Star without Steve Nash?
Yes, he would.
Okay.
I didn't say Steve Nash supported Cavs wasn't good.
No. I'm just saying, but he's also playing with other All-Stars. Sometimes those guys help you look good, too.
Josh Howard ain't bad.
No, but he ain't Amari and Sean Marion.
The debate continues from Los Angeles. Presidential. Well, even the Lakers, through their struggles, will still draw the stars. There's Randy Jackson, of course, longtime record producer and musician, and, of course, one of the judges on American Idol. And there's Penny Marshall, who is a huge fan. Tobey Maguire.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Is there a Spider-Man 3? I think
it's coming out. Look good, too.
They're going to be Spider-Man 8 and 9. Trust me.
Cannon.
Give it enough time.
And, of course, Jack Nicholson, who
looks like he's looking at a box score. I don't know why.
I hope he's not looking at a box score. It better be from the last game.
No, not really.
No, none of the last 5 games. You're right. Final quarter here. Terry takes it to the baseline, pulls up. I mean, they just have so many weapons.
They really do. And then that balance, again, is one reason. And being on a mission. And you got to give Avery Johnson, again, a lot of credit for keeping this team playing at such a high level for such an extended period of time. I really haven't seen anything like this.
Turiaf short. Crozier with the rebound. Crozier sees an opening, tries to go in, and Bynum tries to deny him, does, but draws a foul.
You know, the other thing that's so impressive about what Dallas has done, if you look at historically the teams that have always, had the best records in the history of the game, those great Bull teams, at that time, they had also unquestionably the most dominant players of those eras. When Chamberlain's teams had the best record, I mean, even though Dirk is by far one of those players, they don't really feature a guy that you're going to say and ask and get a consensus of being the most dominant player in the game. And I mean, again, a lot of that credit does go to a guy like Dirk Nowitzki, but you got to give Avery Johnson and his coaching staff a tremendous amount of credit as well, because I've never seen a team play at this level for this extended period of time when you don't have a guy that just overwhelmingly dominates both ends.
They've built a complete roster. They've got everything you'd want in a team. I mean, you've got the quickness in the backcourt that you want to be able to make plays. They've got an outstanding shooting team. You've got a go-to focal player in Dirk Nowitzki, and Josh Howard now is a complement to that. So, and depth. You've got everything you need in a roster to go out and win the championship. Now they've just got to go out and close the deal, which they were obviously unable to do last year in the final.
Well, right now, Phil Jackson, all he's trying to do is get these guys some time.
Yeah, he's trying to get through the game.
Yeah.
And they also got a great owner in Mark Cuban.
Yes, they do. He came over and said hi a little while ago.
Got a little goatee working.
Chop. Loses it. Farmar stops, gets it back from Bynum. Pass was in for Bynum, but it's picked off. Terry and Howard. And Howard finishes even with a little push in the back. There's Mark Cuban.
He looks happy for some reason, don't he?
Well, I mean, he's worth $4 billion or something.
I think
and he hasn't been upset after a game in about 6 weeks.
Yeah, I think that probably means more than the billions. He's used to being a billionaire.
Crozier with the rebound. And a blocking foul goes against Vujacic.
I tell you, you think about it, it's very rare that you see him not be overly animated. And you look at the success this guy's had. It's not just about what he's done in terms of winning on the court either. I mean, the fact that he's made the Dallas Mavericks kind of the end thing in Dallas, where it's really always been about the Cowboys and, the Stars and the hockey team and what have you. But he's put the Mavericks on par with both those organizations in terms of Major League Sports in Dallas.
No, that's a great point, because they were not. Well, Tim, you would know. You played there.
Yes, I
They were not a model.
Obviously, a different era. the Donald Carter era, and we struggled without question. But I like to feel like we kind of laid the foundation, because we were on the bottom, and that's where the foundation usually is.
That's a good point.
Well, you guys like the foundation and more a part of the basement. They put the foundation on.
They were underneath the basement.
And I can empathize with you, because I had to play, unfortunately, for the Grizzlies there, and winning was not really a part of our resume.
Farmar pulls up. But Vancouver is a lovely town.
It was beautiful, except around 7:30 on game nights.
Yeah, same thing with Dallas. What a great city. Until the lights went on at 7:30 at the arena.
Want to be an all-star at the NBA Finals? Log on to NBA.com for a chance to win a trip for two to the 2007 NBA Finals. The trip includes round-trip transportation, hotel accommodations, and 2 tickets to one of the games during this year's final. And I think there's a good chance that one of these teams is going to be there.
In Dallas?
No, in the final. Kobe Bryant, well, his night's probably over. 8:51 to go, and his squad out of it. Well, so basically that Clippers game was played here earlier today, so there's been no entertaining basketball for the entire day, unless you're a Dallas Mavericks fan or a Detroit Pistons fan. But if you are a fan of the Lakers or the Clippers, it's been a tough day. Kobe Bryant back into the game.
But at least UCLA got a 2 seed. So, you know, people around here are feeling good about something.
They lost their last one, too.
That's true. Last 2.
Man. So Southern California is struggling a little bit right now. About 40,000 people saw some bad basketball in the Staples Center, unfortunately, tonight.
Austin Crozier has only missed 2 free throws on this entire year. He hasn't been in the line a lot. He's now 30 of 32. USC played here yesterday. They also lost, got killed. McKee's shot off the mark. Jop with the rebound.
I think, to me, right now, you take a look at Kobe Bryant back on the floor, and the only reasoning I can think of, you're down 30 points in the 4th quarter, is the guys on the court still need confidence builders. You need somebody to make plays for these guys, and that's why Kobe Bryant is in the game right now, because he's the only one they have on their roster that can facilitate the game for them and help them have some sort of structure offensively.
I do agree with you there, Timmy, but I don't think I'd have him in the game right now.
I wouldn't either. I'm trying to get in Phil Jackson's head and think why he possibly sent him up to the scorer's table at 9 minutes ago on a 30 points.
He's mad at him. That's the only reason I can think.
Yeah, but you know, you don't want to add injury, God forbid,
that's
to
exactly
insult,
right.
because you still have a season that's worth something, even though you're struggling now and things look bleak. You know, Lamar Odom's supposedly coming back next week. Luke Walton should be ready for the next game out. And prior to all of these injuries, this was a basketball team that I legitimately felt could play with anybody in the Western Conference. They had great chemistry. They were playing well. They played really well against the top teams in the Western Conference. And so you want to make sure that you allow for that opportunity to kind of transpire once we get to the postseason.
Farmar picks up Harris. There's shot well off the mark. McKee with the rebound. Bounce pass to Farmar, gets it back. Cook quickly double team.
Just look at how poor, though, the spacing is for the Lakers right now. I mean, they just don't have any room in which to operate, in part because they don't have a real good grasp of this offense. Everybody's chasing the basketball, and all you do is make it much more difficult to be effective offensively.
Hassan Diop, guys, I mean, you correct me if I'm wrong. You watch a lot more than I do, but he looks thinner but stronger than when he first came into the league.
I think he's absolutely in better condition than he was, and particularly in his midsection. I think he was a guy that labored a little bit up and down the floor. He looks a lot trimmer, and as a result, his stamina is probably better, which is why he looks like he's stronger.
And factor in confidence, because your confidence really has an aura about it. It gives you that little pep in your step. I think his instincts are much better because he understands his role. He's comfortable. You know, that's the other thing with Dallas. You look at their team. They don't have guys trying to do things they're not comfortable doing. And I think that's one reason why they have so much success. It's the antithesis of what we see with the Lakers tonight, where they got a bunch of guys that are asked to do far too much, far more than they're capable of because of the injuries.
It's interesting, John, as you brought him up, because we've talked so much tonight about Dirk Nowitzki, Josh Howard, obviously. We get into the MVP debate, all those kind of things. Ultimately, it's going to be guys like Sagana Diop and Eric Dampier and Devin Harris in the postseason. Those guys are going to have moments at critical times in games as the playoffs go on where they're going to have to make plays for this team to continue to advance and roll on. So everybody on this team has a critical role, and I think they all understand it and they embrace their role this year.